What is going on, my people? Good morning. Good morning. So let me ask you, have you ever had a struggle with setting your own prices? Whether you have a business at some point, whether you're just getting into starting a business, I know I have a lot of followers who are previous MLMers, current people who are in the MLM, and I teach them how to life coach, and then they get to create their own programs and products. And they always get nervous, including myself, whenever you start to try and monetize something in that nature. So if you have a business, if you have an offer, if you're restructuring that offer and you're like, I don't know how much to charge, today's workshop is for you. See, here's the thing. It's a bit awkward, especially in the beginning, if you're asking for people to trade time for money, right? If you're asking them to take that step to buy your program and your product, and it really entirely depends on how much you want to charge. Like sometimes we work for companies or we have businesses that we work with, like MLMs, where they already make a decision on how much it costs. But when it has something to do with us, it really has to do with this like confidence factor and a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about here today to really figure out like what this price is for you and have it be a little bit in between the stretch zone and the giving myself away for completely free, which is where I spent so much time. See, when I first got started in business, when I first started to create my own offer where I got to decide how much, I really devalued it because I thought, well, this is like something that is the level of value that I'm offering is something I thought that was a lot less than what I saw other coaches and other people out there were doing. And I was really struggling because I was undercutting myself a lot. And if you'll notice this is one of the points that we're going to be talking about later. But really, like when you undercharge, not only do you underdeliver, but the feelings that you have for your customers are not the way that you want to feel. And I'll share some huge strategies today here on this call. So guys, welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. We help entrepreneurs become modern leaders. There you go. So you can excel both personally and professionally without sacrificing family time or burning yourself out. We do that via quick tip videos on Mondays and Thursdays, longer episodes on Saturdays, like today's, where we do a little bit of a workshop style. I ask you some questions to really help personalize this for you. If you're new, definitely consider subscribing. Super excited to have you here on the Modern Leadership team. Now, in full transparency, this is not a live video, which even though it does kind of seem like one, it is not. My main man, Kurt, is going to be here. He's going to be fielding the comments. He's going to be asking you guys questions. He's going to be keeping you engaged. He's going to ask you about some of the biggest takeaways that you have. So he is going to be here live. And Kurt, thank you so much for holding it down, brother. But me, I am giving a rather large presentation in front of a group of coaches, and I'm in San Antonio at the time of this recording, but I did not want to miss this key recording or key topic for you, okay? Now, normally you know that my beautiful wife, Teresa, is here to give her insights. She's also not here today, so you're stuck with me, but we're going to get right into and power through how to figure out how much to charge. Now, here's the thing. As we go through this process, I have some questions that I'm going to ask you. I have some points that I'm going to bring up, but I want you to constantly remember, as I don't care if you're 18 or you're 81, you've had some type of life experience that other people would pay for and they wish they had known. All right. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You've succeeded in certain areas. You've read books. You've attended college. You've attended maybe just high school or trade school or something where you've learned a new skill, right? You've been able to listen to podcasts, watch videos. You're literally here on this channel. And when you're taking things away, they're going into your kind of like your piggy bank of knowledge that you're going to be able to share with other people, even if it is outside the specific area that you're helping somebody with. Now, I help out a lot of life coaches because leadership and life coaching is like it's the same thing. It's really about coaching and getting people to come to their conclusions and really having their buy-in to do the things that they know that they need to do to really have success in their life. And that in turn lets the team have massive success as well. And it always comes down to like thinking about how much you've personally grown, because all of those things I get to bring with me into a coaching session. I mean, for example, for me, I have 20 years of police officer experience. I've been a parent for 14 years now. I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. I've been married for 18 years now. Which, by the way, tomorrow is my anniversary. So we're going to be going and doing some pretty awesome stuff over the summertime because of that. But all of this experience, I co-created a life coach school. I have a life coach certification that I teach. I teach master coaches how to develop into master coaches after they graduate from as a life coach. all of these experiences I bring with me into every situation I go into. And it could be that I help people, I coach them through a specific situation because I understand how the subconscious mind works. But it could also be that I mentor because I've had all of these past experiences and I know you are the same way. So do not discredit what you bring. I was talking to one of my one-on-one clients, and she's like a very successful nurse. And she's coaching people, but she kind of like forgets the fact that she has all of this experience around nursing, that if she were to sit down, I asked her, I said, if you were to sit down with a brand new nurse, do you think you'd be able to set her up for success in her career by learning and teaching her things that she would have never known if she, didn't have you? And she was like, oh, absolutely. So that's the level of confidence you really want to lean into, is like you have so much to offer, so many things you've experienced, so many different things you've learned throughout the process, that I want you to flow that through all of the different questions and all the different pieces that we're going to be talking about here today, okay? Now, for those of you who've been following me for a long time, I always like to talk about these two areas. One is mindset, and the second is tactics. So mindset is really a lot about coaching. It's about the subconscious mind. It's about how you think of things, how you frame things, or how quickly you reframe them when the things come up and it tends to bring you down the path that you don't want to go down, right? But also there's tactics. There's things to do that you can, the strategies, the tactics, A to Z. This is the step-by-step process. And I'm going to walk you through a piece of that today. But we want to make sure that we always have both the mindset and the tactics. So many people rush to the tactics, especially with like weight loss, right? It's like, hey, give me the pill, give me the workout, give me this. It's not like, oh, teach me how to think about working out. Teach me how to think about eating healthy. Teach me about how to stay motivated. Teach me about like why this is important and meaningful to me and to my family. What kind of impact am I making on the world? We tend to not do that, when in reality, like that's the thing that we really need to focus on the most, right? And when we focus on that, then all the tactics can work out, and we will actually have a clear mindset to be able to take those actions, okay? So we're going to talk about both of those things today, all right? Now, we're always going to start talking out with mindset. Every single one of my trainings, no matter if I tell you we're talking about mindset or tactics, I always start about mindset, because otherwise the whole rest of the training is going to be for naught. I can give you all the tactics and everybody's like, okay, I'm good to go. I'm going to go off and do it on my own. But if it was just purely information, you would have just Google searched it, you would have found it, and you wouldn't have had to do anything about it, right? So we're going to start with mindset, all right? I want you to think about this. When you sign up for something free, how much action do you take? There's this quote that says, when people pay, they pay attention, right? I'm guilty of this too. When I sign up for something free, I don't take that much action. But let me ask you this. If you were to sign up for something free and it would be like a game-changing thing for you, or somebody's like, you know what, this thing's going to change your life forever, and it's $10,000, even if it was the same thing, how much energy and effort and follow-through would you make on the thing that you paid more money for than the thing you paid nothing? Now, this was an eye-opener for me, and it actually made me, believe it or not, reach out to somebody and say, I know that you're doing this for free, but can I pay you for it instead? Not because I want to like give them money, but because I know that my level of buy-in is like, I have to make this work. If you're like, it's free, you're going to get a free level of content from it, which is generally not going to be game-changing. I mean, it's kind of like those things when you see those infomercials. It's like, we will turn around your business for 3 payments of $9.99. What do you think? Scam. But if you're like, hey, we're going to charge you $40,000 for a one-on-one coaching session to turn around your business, you're like, okay, like, man, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, like, if I really want this, this is going to be a game changer for me, right? But what if it was the same exact program? How we as humans, human psychology, how we price our stuff literally will give perceived value for what it is that we're offering. So as we go through this process, I want you to think about this, like how much perceived value do I want to have? Not, which is where my brain usually goes, is I just want to help out everybody I can. And so if I lower the price, then I'm going to be able to help out every human on the planet. Only that doesn't happen. Number one is when it's free, a lot of people who are the really like intense, like more willing to take action and follow through with it, they're like, yeah, that's great. I'm going to go pay for something because I know I want to have the best stuff, right? Because when you think about it, free, it's like, if it was your best stuff, like why would it be free, right? It's kind of like this. So I'm giving you guys a ton of great knowledge here on YouTube, live trainings and all these kind of calls. But when people pay to be a part of my programs, it's even elevated more. It's more in depth. It's more step by step. It's more like, here's how you coach. Here's exactly how you lead. Here's exactly how you build your business, right? And I don't necessarily do that on YouTube Because even if I did, people wouldn't take action on it. They would take more action inside of my paid program, even if I did the same exact thing. And that's the same thing related to your business, okay? So when people pay, they pay attention. So I want you to think about that. Now, early on, I really devalued myself when I first started my mastermind. My mastermind for a while was actually free. It was for people who were part of my MLM team, because I used to be MLM as well. Then I decided I'm actually going to start creating my own team outside of MLM and really help people with their health, with their family, with their business. And I had like 14 other things. It was a little bit too chaotic in terms of the amount of stuff that I was trying to teach them. I was trying to teach them everything, which means you teach them nothing, right? But in reality, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it $50 a month, because I know that police officers, because this is who I was serving at the time, because I know that police officers can't afford it. Here's the thing. Some people signed up and I never saw them. And it felt frustrating because they paid me $50 a month and they never showed up, right? Now, some people will be like, well, that's just a part of the game. And I'm like, no, that's not a part of the game, because I don't want people to give me money and then not show up and get to experience the life-changing results that I can help them with. That has a lot to do with integrity, which is a core value of mine, which is like, I don't want to lead with that. I don't care if people are giving me $50 a month. If you're not here taking action, I got to figure out something else. I got to find another way of doing this. For the people who did show up, they would just come and watch the videos and they would get super excited and they would never take any action. Now, there was some people who ultimately did lead to my higher level mastermind, which I'll talk about in a minute, and they were showing up, but the number of people percentage-wise was much lower. Then I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this $150 a month and not $50. I tripled it, okay? I told everybody who's there, I'm like, hey guys, like I'm going all in. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this. And I raised my prices. And when I raised my prices, a couple things happened. Number one is the people who were just like hang-arounds, who weren't taking action, they kind of fell off. Some of them came back later, but some of them fell off. The other people who upgraded, they took more action. They saw more results. And like, not only that, but I actually showed up even better. Think about this. When you have, for example, $50 a month program, right? And you're giving 4 calls a month and you're helping people and you're designing a tracker and you're like really taking them through core values and goals exercises and all these kind of things, and then they're not showing up, it could very easily turn into anger, resentment, frustration from the trainer. And trust me, you never want to have that relationship with your customers, because it makes it feel really weird and awkward when you dislike the people that are actually paying you money and you're not able to help them, right? And so as I leveled up to $150 a month, it made me get this feeling of like, I have to really over deliver. And so not only did I charge them more, but actually the level of quality and content that I put out there was much higher. That's when I got much more laser focused on what I do. Now, since then, I've like 5-6x that amount of money that I charge for programs, but it's even more laser focused into very specific leadership tactics, very specific business tactics, which when you think about it, like if you can 10x your income, which very easily, like for me personally, I 4x my income learning the stuff that I did. I took it from 50 to now way over like multiple 6 figures. So way more than four times. Like, of course that's valuable, right? Because people are like, hey, like, yes, I'm paying this monthly, but this is something I'm going to be able to buy for the rest of my life, right? But you don't ever have that opportunity if you don't raise your prices, because when you raise your prices, not only will you show up better, will you get more clear with your message, will you be a better trainer, but the people will be better listeners, even if they're the same people. Hear me when I say that, because like I said, when we don't pay attention. It's very much linked, all right? So that's why I want to make sure that as you're going through and answering some of the questions that I'm going to ask you, that you understand that this is important not just for you, for your financial reasons. It's also important for your customers, because they're going to get a better you and they're going to be more up to getting results and they're going to be more all in as you go, all right? Now, here's the thing. Even despite all that I said, you're probably like, that's great, Mark, but how much should I charge? And I'm going to get to that in a second, all right? That's definitely something that I want to tackle. We're going to get into the tactics, but I just want you to have this mindset in the back of your mind, because if you're constantly thinking like you're taking from somebody, you're going to have this feeling of like, I've got to reduce my prices, and you're literally going to be taking from somebody. That's how we manifest this in our mind. All right. For all my life coaches who are watching this, you understand how that whole process works, right? What we think, our stories that we tell ourselves, I'm taking from people. literally means in the end, you're going to manifest that you're taking from people because you're going to take their money and they're not going to take action. And then you're not going to show up the way that you want to. So this is a perpetual cycle. So instead it's leaning in and saying, I'm going to charge my worth and I'm going to make sure that I really over deliver for people and know that it's not my part of the equation. It's their part of the equation. Okay. Now tactics. So when you first get started or when you're redesigning something or you're thinking about raising your prices, there's some structure that Josh and I use pretty frequently to make sure that we are on track doing two things. Number one is we're raising our prices to charge more of that's in alignment with our worth. But number two, we're doing what's called price anchoring, all right, at the same time. This is two really great strategies that you kind of mix into two, okay? Now what you do is you think about the price that you want to be charging either 6 months or a year from now. So let's say I have a one-on-one program, all right? Let's say that I want to charge $10,000 for 6 months, right? I'm at the end of the year, I want to be charging $10,000 a month for 6 months worth of one-on-one coaching, right? What you do is that now is your base price. This is your normal price. But for right now, and you're going to have to explain why this is going to be different, you're actually going to be offering it as a bonus price, meaning instead of it being 10,000, you're going to start your new program. So it's going to be a beta program, or you're going to say, you know what, for the next 3 people, I'm offering them a discount for $7,500 for 10 months, or for, $6,500 for 6 months. I said 10 months for 6 months. And so what you do is you price anchor it by when you're having a conversation, you tell them the normal price is 10,000 because it's going to be 10,000 in 6 months, right? So the normal price is 10,000. And right now, what I'm doing is because I want to build up a huge community, because I want to work with you because I've worked with you for such a long time and I really enjoy working with you. I'm going to give it to you for $6,500 for 6 months, all right? You're going to be grandfathered in for that price for however long you stay in the one-on-one program. And then when my prices go back up, then you're going to be grandfathered in. You won't have to pay those prices. And this is how you do it. You figure out what your price is, what you want to charge about a year from now, and then you reduce that. Basically, whether it's a beta group, whether it's for a certain amount of people, you have to explain why you're doing that. It's not just because you decided to take the money off, right? It's whether you're just building up a new community, you have a few extra spots on your schedule that you want to get filled up real quick, you want to be able to help more people, whatever that is, you have to make sure that you explain that to them. But that is what's going to be your base price, and this is what's going to be your current price right now until you get those 3 people or whatever your decision is in terms of how or when you're going to go back up, all right? Now, this is a great way not only to price anchor, which means that this is the price and this is the discounted price for right now. I don't like to use the word discounted price, by the way. But when you think about that, once you start to accumulate clients, then you can go up to the 10,000 and you do this again. You say 6 or 12 months from now, well, what do I want to be charging? Well, 12 months from now, I want to be charging 15,000. Okay, so 15,000 is going to be the new price. And this is going to be the current price right now for people who get in right now this weekend, or for the first 3 people, or because I really want to help as many people as I possibly can, whatever that is, however you want to explain that to them. But be really open and honest with the reason why you actually are discounting it, right? You don't have to discount. I'm not saying that, but this is the way that we have really found to work well, is thinking about 6 or 12 months from now and then reverse engineering it into the today price for them. And then as you go, continue to adjust as you go, all right? This will help you to start to build up a little bit higher when it comes to the amount of money that you're asking for, and it'll get more comfortable as you go. Now, that being said, I don't want you to think that immediately the first time you say this, it's going to be comfortable, because it's not. But the first time somebody accepts it, the first time you're having conversations, you just start saying it over and over and over again. It's going to get more comfortable and confident in you when you're saying it. That by the time you get to the next level, the same thing's going to happen again. You're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to be a little bit unconfident, but it's based off of you've done this before now. And so now it's this rinse and repeat. So some people will start off let's say you want to do $500 a session, but for right now, for you getting your clients because you're starting a beta group right now, you're going to offer it for $250. This is going to be the grandfather price because you want to build up the community really quickly, but you want to make sure that the right people are in there, and this person is the right person. Because guess what? You are building up a new community. This is your beta round, and you do want to get good community. See what I mean there? It's kind of the purpose behind it is the truth. It's not like you're faking it. You're actually leaning into the actual truth. And when you do that, you're going to be able to continue to level up your prices. Now, there's one piece that I want to make sure that we fit together into these two pieces, the mindset and the tactics. And by the way, there isn't one right, best, only way to do this. I'm just describing what we have used and what I personally have used as well. That is really, really helpful. You can also like look at what other people are charging, but that's kind of like hard because you don't know who their target audience is. You don't know how long they've been coaching. More than likely, they've done this price association as well. And where they are right now, maybe you can't charge what that is, mostly because it's like the limiting beliefs that you have there. But also in the beginning, sometimes you do have to build up a little bit of credibility. You have to build up a client list. Like you have to build up like having some clients, and then just having some clients gives you the push of like, bringing it a little bit higher, right? But there is one piece that holds this all together, and it was critical for me, especially in the early stages, and that is like community. It's like finding a group of people who are also charging their worth makes it so much easier for you to do the same. So if you're surrounded yourself with a bunch of people who just offer community and all this stuff, all the things that you want to get paid for free, it's going to be very hard for you to convince yourself to offer it for a higher price. But if you start getting into rooms where people are charging $50,000 a month for business coaching, you're going to feel like, man, mine is a steal at $10,000 a month, right? And it's because of the level of community that you have. It's also important that you surround yourself with a coach. That could also be the community. That could actually be, the in place of the community is an actual coach who's able to coach you through that process, who's worked with other people, who knows what people typically charge in terms of prices, because just the belief of being around in that community, just the belief of being around somebody who maybe has a business like yours, who charges more than you do, is the thing you might need to actually get comfortable enough to start having that conversation. So if you don't have a community, definitely find one. Of course, if that's Teresa and I, you guys want to see what you could do to work with us, we have limited amount of one-on-one spots. We have some group programs, but it's more related to like coaching and understanding the principles of life coaching. If that's something you're interested in, I'll leave you a link in the description. If you go to modernleadership.us/apply, you can fill that out and we'll see if like our team is a really good fit. But regardless, finding a team, finding a community, finding a group of people who are willing to charge their worth is going to be so impactful for getting you to charge your worth too, okay? Now, you might be wondering, you might get to the end of this video, which I cannot believe it's actually only been 30 minutes. You might get to the end of the video and you might be wondering about other ways that we could sabotage this whole entire process. Here's the thing. I hope that you're pumped up. I hope you're fired up. I hope you have an idea of like what you're going to charge. And by the way, if you do, I want you to drop it in the comments. Number one is I want to drop how much you're going to be charging now, like what is your new regular price, and also I want to hear like if you had what your biggest takeaway was from this video. Not if you had, but what was your biggest takeaway from this video? Was there something that really stuck out to you? Was there something that's like really tugging on you, really pulling on you that you're going to lean into? Okay. Now that being said, we can very easily start to self-sabotage this. But don't worry, because we definitely have you covered for that. I'm not sure if you saw, but Teresa and I had a workshop that we did. We'll leave it up so you can tap at the end of the screen, where we talked about like the top 10 business saboteurs. Of course, some of those are money limiting beliefs. Some of those are the things that we were like talking about and tackling today, but we go even deeper into those top 10 in that workshop. Definitely lean in. And if you haven't subscribed to Modern Leadership, definitely subscribe, because we will be continuing to do stuff like this, but we will be live next weekend. Okay, guys, I appreciate you so much. Definitely check out my stories. I'll probably be posting some stuff, some behind the scenes stuff of my teachings and trainings at the Coach Summit. But I appreciate you guys so much. You guys have an incredible weekend, and I'll see you real soon. All right. Keep leading from the front, team. All right. Bye.